Welcome to the program. This is AM News. Details now. Ghanaian businesses are expecting mixed reactions from the investment world towards Ghana's completion of its external debt restructuring. According to them, there will be positive reactions to the milestone by some investors who will now consider the certainties around their investments what their investments will put money into the Ghanaian economy. But there will also be some reluctance on the part of others who would rather want to invest in other economies than Ghana due to the debt restructuring. More on that shortly. But first, here is Ghana's Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, who is assuring Ghanaians of a promising outlook for Ghana's economy after a successful conclusion of its debt restructuring program. He was speaking at a town hall meeting at Trinity Baptist Church in Croydon, United Kingdom.
One of the conditions was that Ghana had to do what we call debt operation. We had to go and restructure our debts because our debts were considered unsustainable. I want to announce, for those of you who are interested in the debt restructuring, which has become Ghana's most difficult problem for the past 2-3 years, we are bringing it to an end. We are bringing the debt restructuring to an end. Last 2 weeks, we concluded negotiation with the official creditors, and we've agreed to restructure $5.1 billion. And I'm telling you, your government is good in negotiation. Of the $5.1 billion, we are going to make a savings of about $2 billion. $2 billion. As I speak to you, tomorrow morning, there will be an announcement that we have also concluded our negotiation with the Eurobond holders, $13.1 billion. And ladies and gentlemen, when we announce it, please read the details. We have negotiated a good deal for Ghana that will save us $8 billion.
He is hopeful the conclusion of the program will signal a turning point for the economy.
Wait until the announcement. The confidence in our economy is going to come back stronger because the world is no longer interested in investing in Ghana because of those debt restructuring. After tomorrow, it will be a different story. Watch the CD to the dollar after tomorrow. I know you are interested in that story. Let's watch it and see. The confidence will come. The investors will return to Ghana. And the growth trajectory will even become clearer for all of us. So this election is an election for us to win. The NDC can no longer campaign on the economy. Our record is better than their record. On the size of the economy, we've done better than them. On per capita income, we've done better than them. On job creation, we've done better than them. On economic growth, we've done better than them. They say we went to IMF, but it's not easy to be under an IMF program because we've seen them before. When they were under IMF program, by 2016, they missed all the targets. So far, Ghana has become an example. We met all our prior conditions and the IMF praised us and disbursed $600 million. This economy will grow, and it will grow faster than everybody thinks. By the end of this year, we are supposed to grow at 3.2%. But I can tell you, we'll grow at 5% or even more than 5%. This is because of the pragmatic policies we are implementing as a government. And so don't let anybody talk you down. You should raise your head up and you know that your government is doing the right thing. We are bringing the economy back.
That's the Finance Minister. In other stories, Movement for Change leader Alan Kyerematen has promised to transform the country through his great transformational plan by focusing mainly on economic and infrastructural development, improving social services, and maximizing agricultural productivity. The former Trade Minister said this. He said he will eliminate sole sourcing of government projects, reducing government spending and financing on infrastructural projects by 60%, and work with a government made up of not more than 40 ministers.
There's a lot of money floating around in the world. Government does not need to continue building roads. Every politician would like to build roads because that's where the corruption starts. Because that's where the contracting starts. But if you go to some of the powerful economies in the world, most of the roads were built by private sector capital. Even international airports, first-class international airports, are owned by the private sector. In Ghana, because people want to borrow to finance the construction of an airport, they will tell you that for security reasons, the government has to borrow and construct the airport.
Well, L Tuu has also promised to introduce a fixed exchange rate for 6 months on import duties. This measure, he believes, will curtail the constant price fluctuations of goods and services and bring inflation under control. It is also a measure that he believes will stabilize the cedi.
On low inflation, fix the foreign exchange rate for the importation of strategic commodities such as petroleum and essential medicines below the prevailing foreign exchange market rate as a second forex window, as a short-term policy measure in order to reduce the pass-through effects of the depreciation of the local currency on strategic commodity prices. As a country, we have no choice but to import petroleum products until we start adding value to our oil and gas resources. If your cedi is depreciating and you allow the exchange rate, the depreciating rate, to influence the price of petroleum products, then obviously the prices of all goods, because of the multiply effect of petroleum, would always be on the rise. So you have to ring fence the depreciation of the cedi in respect of products that are of a strategic nature, and you have no choice to import them. If we do this, we'll stabilize the currency.
Moving on, to help promote sports development and youth empowerment, the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary candidate for the Pusiga constituency, Alhaji Abdul Hanan Aludiba, has commissioned a state-of-the-art football astroturf for the constituency. The facility, which was constructed in partnership with the Ghana National Gas Company, will also serve as a venue for public gatherings and events in the Upper East region. Our correspondent, Albert Sori, reports.
The newly commissioned football astroturf is part of Alhaji Hanan Abdul Wahab Aludiba's campaign promise to enhance sports infrastructure in the Pusiga constituency. The facility is expected to provide a conducive environment for young footballers to hone their skills and potentially become future stars. The facility has also been designed to be used for public functions such as the Independence Day parades, Eid prayers, among others. The MPP's parliamentary candidate for Pusiga said he lobbied the Ghana National Gas Company to bring the facility to the deprived area because he believed in the enormous talents that abound there.
A year ago, we came to council for the construction of the astroturf. Some said it was a scam, but today we can see the reality. Within a year, the astroturf is completed, and we are here today to commission it. I told you I know the roads. I told you I have the connection. I have done so much. Just be a candidate. Give me the mandate. Inshallah, and I will not disappoint the good people of Pusiga. We are going to collectively take care of this project. We are going to guard it to make sure that it will stand the test of time.
The commissioning ceremony was attended by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Yusuf Mustafa, some MPP bigwigs, and former Black Stars players, including Stephen Appiah, Laye Kingston, John Pencil, and Emmanuel Ajiman Bedu. The sports minister commended Alhaji Hanan Aludiba for his initiative and reiterated the government's commitment to grassroots sports development.
Today, once we commission this astroturf on his behalf, having 156 astroturfs in a day. His Excellency has also simultaneously constructed 10 youth resource centers, 5,000 seating capacity. 6 of them have been completed. We are doing all this to ensure that we develop sports
project manager of Ghana National Gas Company Limited, Edomgbole Anyima, urged the people of Pusiga to maintain the new sports facility so it can serve them for a long time.
We will entreat the committee that will be formed to manage this facility. That this facility in 5 years' time will look as the same as it is today.
The ex-Black Stars players engaged with the youth and shared their experiences. They also joined select sides of the youth of Pusiga to play a friendly football match as their way of inspiring the next generation of football talents. For Joy News, Albert Sori, Pusiga.
Let's stay on the Northern Belt, where Member of Parliament for Wa West constituency, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchintobu, has stated that peace is gradually returning to Kando and Lasia Tolu following the communal conflict in the enclave that claimed 3 lives. He said most residents who fled from the conflict have now returned and majority back to their farms for their farming activities. Interacting with chiefs and opinion leaders of the feuding factions, he called on them to work to ensure that there is total peace in the area. Join News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wichiao.
Since the conflict erupted on June 15 between the people of Kendeu and Lasie Tolu, who claimed 3 lives, dozens of security personnel drawn from the military, police, and the immigration services have been strategically deployed to the conflict communities to restore and maintain peace in the area. Feeding of these security personnel solely rely on the soldiers of the government through the Wa West District Assembly. To complement the effort of the government, Member of Parliament for Wa West, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchintobu, donated food items worth 10,000 Ghana cedis to the Wa West District Security Council for the feeding needs of the personnel stationed in the conflict area.
We say security is a collective responsibility. So security is not only about talking about it, believing in the peace, believing in the men and women in uniform, but also contributing tangibly to support the effectiveness of the operations on the ground.
Superintendent retired Peter Lanchintobu then moved to the palace of the paramount chief of the Wichita traditional area, Na Imorogoma, whose jurisdiction the 2 communities are under. His mission there is to meet and plead with him and his subjects on the need to bury the hatchet and let peace prevail in the predominant farming enclave.
All those who believe in peace, and they believe that Wa West should remain peaceful, and they believe that the conflict between Lasie Tolu and Kendeu should be resolved to the detail, so that we'll never experience such a thing again.
There's uneasy calm in the area following the incident a week ago. But the significant thing to report now is that people are now back to the communities and farmers are back to their farms doing their normal duties.
This morning while I was coming, I saw a lot of women in the farm sowing. That is a sign of peace. If not, nobody would have had the balls to go to the farm at this material moment. This is farming season. If we can't go to farm, it means that we are praying for famine. We are praying for hunger. But I'm happy that I can see the revival of the system. But let's not take things for granted.
At Kendeu, he entreated the chiefs and people of the area to swallow their anger and give peace a chance. One major concern raised and who they will want an intervention from the Member of Parliament was the continuous keeping of the deceased at the morgue for autopsy and holding of suspects at the police cells. Superintendent retired Peter Lanchintobu has this response for them.
And I'll plead with all of you, be patient with the police. They know what they are doing. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, all of us will be happy. Nobody wants to be in cells. The policemen who are on duty here, sleeping in the bush every night, they don't want to be here like that. But they are here because they're national duty. So let's be patient with them and let them do what is right. So all of us will have the peace.
The message at Lasie Tolu was a carbon copy of what transpired at Kendeu. He reiterated that the conflict is between 2 communities and they have made frantic effort to resolve it, urging the public to disregard the misinformation and disinformation which can worsen the conflict situation in the area.
I have said it from day one. L Tuu and Kendall have had a conflict. And the conflict is about the land in Lase. So the conflict is between Kendall and L Tuu. The conflict is not between the Brifos in Ghana and the Wallace in Ghana. If that was the case, I am sure that a lot of Brifos who are living in Wat Town would have vacated their residence. But that is not the case. There are a lot of Walla people and Brifos people who are working together. For instance, in Asankragua, there are a lot of them in Sefi. There are a lot of them in Accra. The conflict is not a tribal conflict. It is not between Walla people and the Brifos people. It is the conflict between these two communities, Kendall and L Tuu. And I'm restricting it so that we don't stretch it beyond limits. But I'm hopeful that with the way I'm seeing the chiefs speak and the elders speak and the response from the youth, there is hope for the future.
One thing significant which was exhibited during the tour by the factions recognizes the need to maintain the peace in the area which they both resolve to work towards achieving. The return of the people to their farms is also good for the optics. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Wachao.
The National Association of Graduate Teachers have undertaken an initiative aimed at enhancing academic performance among pupils at the basic level in Apajeto South District. This includes building the capacity of teachers and awarding best performing students to serve as motivation to whip up the interest of pupils in education. There's more in the following report.
The Apajeto South District within the last 3 years has not performed creditably well in the Basic Education Certificate examination, with the highest pass rate at 75% in 2023. The District Director of Education, Akpene Yvonne Ame Bruce, said some measures are being implemented to improve performance.
What we lack when it comes to the results is that we want single digits, let's say aggregate 6 to 9. And that is what we are not getting. We pray and hope that when we put in all the best strategies that we have, we will be able to attain those aggregates. So gone on to intensify monitoring, and it is a mass monitoring. We have intensified literacy and numeracy in the first hours of the day. We have also gone into grooming our teachers.
To complement the efforts of the Education Directorate, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, instituted an award scheme among other initiatives. Well-performing students in the 2023 BECE were decorated with citations. The NAGRAT National Gender Desk Coordinator, Rebecca Okran, said the initiative aligns with the outfit's aim of ensuring quality education delivery.
Apart from fighting for better conditions of service for our teachers to enable them to go teach with all the passion that they need to teach with, we are also here today in Hohoi promoting the same agenda through our students by awarding, rewarding, and motivating those who have done well, and even encouraging those who are about to write the BEC. Remember, these are our children, and we will go all lengths to make sure that they turn out well, especially pupils from basic public schools. They are equally good, and when given the needed push, they are going to excel.
The Apajeto South NDC parliamentary candidate, Frank Efiye, said he is visioned to introduce several interventions in education when voted into office.
I wish to place scholarship issuance at the forefront of my educational drive. I will give scholarship in terms of future and further education to these little ones, and I'll enhance education among parents so that they know the true essence and value and significance of education. Likewise, I will try and partner with some other NGOs, CSOs, in order to bring education favors and a partnership to the district.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Verkuleum.
Benjamin Akakbo is up next with Business Update.
Welcome aboard the Business Updates. Now, in our first story, economist Professor Peter Quote is upbeat about market certainty, investor confidence, and the unlocking of some key resources following an official announcement of an end to Ghana's debt restructuring. According to government, it had successfully restructured its debt of $5.1 billion with these creditors, in addition to concluding the restructuring of $13.1 billion with Eurobond holders. To this end, about $8 billion in interest payments have been saved. Reacting to this development, Professor Quote urged government to invest the savings in the productive sectors of the economy to be able to pay these debts when they mature.
It will bring certainty, some relative certainty to the markets, to the minds of investors, to the minds of Ghanaians, because it's taken quite a long time to come this far. You don't know whether they will agree to the terms and what the terms will be, its impact on our investment, interest payment, etc. But now we are close to knowing exactly what the terms are. And I think that brings certainty to the market, and that can have some positive effects on the exchange rate and, by extension, inflation and inflation expectations. We can also see that there is going to be some savings. And with this amount of savings that is coming to government, it could be channeled into other more productive areas that will stimulate production, can stimulate growth and employment in the immediate term. We're also seeing, or we're going to also see that with the restructuring, it's going to free some resources, because if government has to pay the debt today or to pay this year, it means it has to find this money to pay interest and also service the debt.
Now, rural and community banks across the country are being offered a new platform by the Ghana Stock Exchange to use in raising additional capital to support their operations. Now, the move is born out of the creation of the first official over-the-counter market by the Ghana Stock Exchange and the Securities and Exchange Commission for companies not listed on the bourse to trade. Now, speaking to Joy Business, Managing Director of the Exchange, Abena Amwa, disclosed that the rural and community banks would also have the opportunity of improving transparency to their shareholders through the new platform.
We think that if we do this, their shareholders will be able to see what is the price of our share. They'll be able to see investor appetite, other investors who have appetite to buy the shares. They'll be able to, those who want to buy more will know where to go to buy more, because it will all be transparent. But importantly, by organizing them, we think the rural banks themselves can now have a market where they can raise additional capital. Many of them need additional capital. So using our more organized market, they'll be able to reach a wider range of investors, raise more capital, and serve the purposes of our communities and rural institutions that are trying to grow. Again, the GSE provides a very important governance framework for these banks. So as they come to the GSE, we think some of the best practices of governance, stronger governance that ensures growth and sustainability of the business, will come to rub off on many of these companies. So our hope is to organize this market, let investors benefit, but also let the companies benefit, and essentially the ultimate beneficiary is our communities, it's our SMEs, it's all Ghana who will benefit from this platform.
And that's it for business. Handing over back to Sweetie Habochi.
That wraps up our AM News on the AM show on the Joy News channel. Stay with us. We have a lot more coming your way in the next 4 hours.